One of the biggest names from a fantasy standpoint that we were waiting on this offseason was Najee Harris. And he lands in probably the best situation that we could have hoped for, heading to the Los Angeles Chargers on a one-year deal for up to $9.25 million. And he is now going to be in the conversation for not only being a top 12 running back, but the running back one for a lot of teams that want to go wide receiver in the first round. This is an absolutely spectacular signing. Not only is it a great landing spot for Najee Harris, but it's a great overall signing for the Los Angeles Chargers. We know how Jim Harbaugh and Greg Roman love to do it. They love to pound the football with the running back to open up the passing game. And last year, J.K. Dobbins did really, really good in his return from multiple injuries. But the problem was, once again, he wasn't healthy for the entire season. Najee Harris is the only running back to appear in 62 regular season games over the last 4 years. Najee Harris's best ability has been his availability. And one thing that we haven't seen from Najee Harris is a ton of efficiency. The volume has always carried him. He's always been a guy that runs for 1,000 yards, but it feels like it's the volume that carries him. He doesn't have enough big plays and things of that nature to see some better statistics when it comes to his efficiency. But the change in offensive scheme could also end up working because in Pittsburgh, they did like a run zone scheme where you saw a lot of runs to the outside where Najee Harris would take the ball to the outside. But his best attribute is really going to be running in between the tackles. And that's a big difference that we're going to see moving to this Los Angeles Chargers scheme where they're going to be running in between the tackles a whole lot more. Now, I'll preface this by saying I haven't always been the biggest Najee Harris fan. When he came out of college, his first few years in the NFL, I didn't really support a whole lot of draft Najee Harris. This past season may have been the first time that I've done that where I really thought that he was going to be a good value, but that's because where his ADP was pushing him to. This year, his ADP is going to be a whole lot higher, so is he going to be worth it this time? So as I take a look at the consensus rankings for running backs right now, I can tell you this. Saquon Barkley, Bijan Robinson, Jahmyr Gibbs, Derrick Henry, I'm not taking Najee Harris over any of them. Devon Achane, it's going to be very, very close for me. I'll take Josh Jacobs over him. Jonathan Taylor is going to be very close for me. Bucky Irving's going to be close, and I'm probably giving Najee Harris a small upper hand in that one right now. I'm not going to take him over Kyren Williams. Breece Hall is going to be a questionable one for me. That's going to be very, very close. Right now, I'm going to lean towards Breece Hall, though, because of his work in the passing game. I mean, if you want the most upside, you could take Christian McCaffrey over him. If you want to play it safe, Najee Harris over Christian McCaffrey. But Najee Harris over a Chase Brown, maybe not a James Cook. Ashton Jainty, depends on where he lands. I'll go Najee over Joe Mixon, over Chuba Hubbard, over Kenneth Walker, over Alvin Kamara, James Conner, David Montgomery, Isaiah Pacheco, Tyrone Tracy, Tony Pollard, and I really don't think I need to bring up any more of those names at this point, but he's definitely a locked-in RB1 for me. And to see him kind of in that 6 to 9 range, it would not shock me because he's going to have all the volume. But if the efficiency gets a lot better than what we've seen over the first few years, which it could in this offensive scheme, there is a very good chance that Najee Harris may be one of the best draft picks in all of football next year. If I had to guess right now, he's going to be a second-round pick. A lot of people that go wide receiver 1 in round 1 are going to go RB1 with Najee Harris in round 2. I think that's going to be a very popular stack for people. But there's another running back that this signing greatly affects. And no, it's not anyone from the Chargers. It's Najee's former teammate, Jaylen Warren. Now, 2 years ago, Jaylen Warren, just like we talked about with the efficiency standpoint, he was the exact opposite of Najee Harris. He was as efficient as they come. Big plays, breaking tackle, yards after contact. Jaylen Warren did all of those things. But last season, Arthur Smith kind of ruined it. He gave Najee Harris the ball over and over and over. Jaylen Warren had an injury at the beginning of the year. Took him a little bit to come on, but he never was really utilized the way that we would like. With no more Najee Harris, Jaylen Warren is now the RB1 in that offense. And the one thing that we're going to have to do is keep an eye on what they do at the quarterback position. But this makes Jaylen Warren a very relevant RB2 now as well. And if they don't get even a decent quarterback, it could end up pushing him into that RB3 conversation. But health is going to be the big key for him. But when it comes to Jaylen Warren, one thing you want to keep in mind is they've got some good field stretching weapons there. DK Metcalf and George Pickens definitely can not only pull cornerbacks, but safeties down the field. And then linebackers have to worry about Pat Freiermuth. That could give Jaylen Warren a lot of opportunity and areas to run where there's going to be gaps in the offensive line for him to break off some big plays. But Headliner Nation, day one of the legal tampering period has been a ton of fun. But I'm going to leave you for this one tonight. Hopefully there's no more breaking news this evening. I can get a little bit of sleep because I've been dealing with a cold or a sinus infection, whatever it is, and I can come back strong tomorrow. So when there's no breaking news, I don't feel like I'm dying on camera all day long. But Headliner Nation, do me a favor. If you appreciate me coming to bat for all of you and putting in the work today, hit that like button for me and let me know down in the comments below that you appreciate the content. That's going to be the best medicine for me. But I'm going to get out here for now. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you also turn on the bell notification. So anytime I drop a new video about breaking news, you're going to get our instant reactions about it right away. For now, Headliner Nation, I'm out of here. Stay safe, stay healthy. I'll catch you all in the next episode of the Fantasy Headliners.
Analytics off the chain, all the channels not the same. Jake and Kyle, you know the name. Headliner Nation, we running the game.